also back with Gwinnett Lawns in beautiful, ooh, look at that summer sky, Atlanta, Georgia. So today is July the 6th, 2024. Hope everybody had a great 4th of July. We were able to do all of our yards Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and basically took off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I wanted to do this video for quite a while. This is going to be the 1,025 hour Hustler 48-inch Trimstar review. I'm going to go over what's broken on the mower, what's not broken, my maintenance schedule, and any failures that have happened on the mower. And wow, that light's no good. And I'm going to go over all that with you today. I'm going to do some up close shots of the mower because a lot of people have asked me about different things that I have on the mower. So I'll hopefully will encompass all that in the video today. So I want to show you guys something first. All right, so this is basically just my maintenance log for every piece of equipment that I own that runs gas. Okay, so for instance, let's go to here. I start this log out right here. When I got the mower, I bought this mower on, well, I didn't buy it on January 28th, but it was a little bit earlier than that. But I've got some basic things that I do. You can just freeze the video if you want to see that. Why is this not? There we go. And then some comments here. Anytime I do oil changes, anytime anything breaks, I write the date, the hours, and all that, because, and I've got 4 pages of stuff on this 1,025 hour Hustler mower that we're going to review. So very, very important to keep a log of your maintenance. I do that on every vehicle I've got. So I'm just a stickler for, because I don't have to remember stuff like that. I just write it down and I know where to go get it. Okay, you're gonna forget stuff, all right? I'm really good at remembering details, but I don't want to sit there and try to figure out what did I do on the second piece of equipment that I've got, 4 years ago. So anyway, I would encourage you guys to do that. Just make an Excel spreadsheet or do it. And I've just got a plastic binder and I keep everything in here, every piece of equipment, all right? So first, and I've also written a small summary of things on the mower that I want to make sure to cover. So I'm just going to give you guys an overview. This is I believe this is a 2021 build Hustler Trimstar. This is the 3rd Hustler Trimstar that I've got. The first one I ever got was a 54-inch. It was a 2019. It had the big Kawasaki on it. It had a 691. But I have 2 48-inch Hustler Trimstars now, and they have the 600V, 18.5 horsepower. So before I go any further, let's get the the elephant in the room. This mower is absolutely filthy, okay? There is absolutely no doubt how bad, dirty this mower is. I don't like washing mowers. I will do it at least once a season, but the mowers get maintained like a Formula One race car, but they don't get washed. I don't have time to wash them. I don't enjoy washing them. However, after this video, I'm going to be reviewing a product that hopefully will get this mower clean. So we'll see. But anyway, let's get that out of the way. Needless to say, I promise you this mower is mechanically, it is in superb condition because this is the money maker. All right, so people will ask, I've had people ask why I have this. This is just a rubber inner tube and 2 magnets. This mower currently has 1,025.7 hours. The reason that I have this over here is because the sun over time will fade out and damage the LCD readout right here, I found out. So I just keep this over there and it shields it from the sun. The first thing that I have done differently on this mower that I get so many questions about the trimmer rack holder. All right, I made this. I welded this up and bolted it to the mower. I used the existing holes that were here. This is the first design. My other Trimstar is my second design, which I like better, but this one works just fine. Basically, I took some angle iron and some of the, I don't know what you call this, square tubing. You can get it at Home Depot. It usually is chrome, but I welded it to that, and I've got two 3/8" bolts here with some padding and some, these are John Deere, a piece of John Deere heater hose. And this right here is foam piping or insulation that you can put on pipes. And then I also took an eye bolt, welded it to some 3/8 rod. And of course, I used the existing hole here to hold the trimmer. So it works great. This right here is on here just to stabilize it, and it comes right off. Okay, so we'll actually take this off. All right, so the second thing that I did to the mower was I put the green guard chute blocker on here. In my opinion, this is the absolute best chute blocker on the market. Now, it does have one flaw, and I did a video a little while ago. Watch this. Okay, so the gear in here, I've had to replace it once. This gear in here is, it's actually broken, because you would not be able to move this without the gear broken. And to be honest, I actually quite like it like this, because what happens is that when there's enough force to actually where you would want to have this open, it'll push this open, and it'll evacuate the grass out of there. Very rarely do I even run it like this anymore. Okay, the motor right here is probably the heaviest duty motor you'll ever find on a chute blocker. I've done some research on this motor, and this motor is something that you would run in an like a manufacturing plant. Have a small conveyor belt. All right, that's what these run. They're very, very, very strong. There's nothing wrong with the motor. I don't know. This thing has been on here since hour 3 of the mower, so it's got 1,022 hours of use on it, and the motor's perfectly fine. But it's just this gear. That gear is no good really in this application, because this going up and down, this is designed to run continuously like it would be on a conveyor belt, but it's okay. Those gears are not that expensive, and they're easy to replace. And then of course I've got my, in the summer months I run these are basically my shin protectors, the tough shins. I run the plastic ones, I'll run in the winter or when it's not so hot, and these comfort trims I will run and I just store them right there. And I run those in the summer. So let me, I've got a couple of things here that I want to make sure to go over to tell you guys. So this mower has had 11 sets of blades in its life. I run my favorite blades right now are the Ballard Ripper blades. But right now I'm experimenting with a set of the Lawn Crack. They look like just regular, they look almost like the Ballard razor blades, but they have on the sail, you can sharpen that and it will cut also. So I put those on here, and I will do a separate video, and we'll see how long those blades last, but they're doing good so far. So most of the blades that this has had have either been Copperheads, the factory Hustler blades, the gold hybrid blades from Ballard, or the Ripper blades. And I like the Ripper blades the best because they're medium lift blade. The hybrid blades are a high lift, and if you're cutting really, really low turf, like we cut here in Atlanta, 99% of everything we cut is Bermuda. Then we have centipede, zoysia, and of course weeds, and some fescue. But normally, as you see from here, if you're not familiar, this is 2 inches. 99% of what we cut is at 2 inches. And we have a lot of clay in our soil, and it is full of granite and silica dust, and it will absolutely sandblast the lift portion of the blades to death. Most of the blades will last anywhere between 75 and 125 hours, and that's it. That container over there is full of wore out blades, and it's not the cutting portion. It's the sail, and I've done plenty of videos on that, so we won't belabor that point. So as I said, I installed this at hour 3, so it's got 1,023 hours. Now, if there's a weak point to this mower, I'm going to say that this is it right here, is this parking lever. This is the second parking, no, this is the third parking lever. What happens is that they will snap off right there. These are very strong, but they're brittle. And I never had to replace a parking lever on my 54-inch. And I believe my friend that I sold it to, I'll have to check with him, but that mower's probably got more hours than this one. I don't know if it was ever replaced. I'll check with him. But I replaced the first one at 324 hours and the second one at 869 hours. And it's just, there's a lot of stress on this parking lever when you're moving this back and forth. I did replace this little plastic piece, that white plastic piece. It's just like a bushing that slides on. It's not hard to replace. This right here is not hard to replace either. If you go into the Hustler dealer, they'll tell you have to remove all this assembly. Not true. That is not how you do it. If you take a wrench and bend it, I've got some wrenches. I've got a video that shows you how to replace this. I just took a torch and bent some couple of wrenches, and I can take it on and off. It's no problem. The battery. It's had the battery for the Trimstar is right there. I've replaced that battery one time. This has got a Duracell battery, which are super good, and I replaced that at 743 hours. The blade belt and the hydro belt, I've replaced them once, and I did that at, the belts were done at 830 hours. I'm going to tell you that whatever mower that you're running, you better, while you're in your garage, actually practice replacing the belts. Most of the time, the deck belt is super easy. On this one, you just take off these 4 large screw holders, and this plate pops off, and it's really easy. Just drop the deck. The easiest way to do it is drop the deck all the way down. It gives you a lot of room to do what you need to do. But I'm going to tell you that if you don't practice it in your garage, doing it on and off, then when you get out in the field, if it breaks, that's not the time to be learning. You need to do this beforehand while you are here in your garage. The belts on this one do require tools because you have to remove these plates to get to it, all right? It's not too hard to do, but you do need to figure out how to do that, again, while you're not sitting on an ant pile or something in the customer, because if that hydro belt breaks, number one, you better have a spare. Number two, you better know how to fix it and make sure that you have tools that you need at the, with you all the time. So, that being said, the valves, I adjust the valves as needed. When the mower has trouble starting, I can tell the valves are starting to get a little loose. And this one, I've done the valve adjustment one time. I did it at 851 hours. I was having some trouble with the mower cranking when it was really cold after I adjusted the valves, and it's super easy. I did a video on it, and that almost everybody runs the Kawasaki's. So if you have a Kawasaki engine, the procedure is pretty much the same on all of them, and I believe the clearances are, but just watch the video. It is so easy to do. Please don't take it to the dealer. And that reminds me to just tell you this point right here. I have a mechanical background, so this stuff is relatively easy. A lot of this stuff I've never done before. I just figure it out. If you're not doing your own maintenance on your mowers because you don't feel confident in doing it, you can go on YouTube and pretty much figure out how to do anything on these mowers. They're not hard to work on, but it will save you a lot of money. It will save you a lot of time, and you'll make sure that it's done correctly. So that being said, The tires, these are the original tires that the mower came with. And they still have good tread. Not, you know, they're probably, I don't know, probably have a quarter of the amount of tread left. Never got a flat in either one of these tires. So that's pretty good. I've never had a mower other than these two Trimstars that have had that. I do have a spare wheel and tire on the truck, a brand new one from Hustler. So if something happens on the customer's yard, then I have my jack. I've got the right tools to take the wheel off. I'll just swap it out, and then I can bring it back here when I'm done for the day. Because nobody wants to try to be fixing and mounting a tire while you're trying to make money mowing, right? Just put the spare tire on there and then take care of it when you get back to the house. Now, the spindle bearings. So there's 3 spindles. The center spindle right here, I noticed that when the, and this was at 700 hours, I noticed that when I had the belt off, I rotated it around, it was making a little bit of noise. And there was no noise when the mower was running at all, but there was a little bit of play if you took the blade and moved it up and down. I mean, just the tiniest bit. So I went to Hustler, got the upper and lower bearings. Believe I did a video on that and replaced that. I also ordered the bearings for the right and the left side, so I have them. You don't need to replace the spindle if it's not damaged, and it's not going to be damaged if you take care of the worn bearings before they actually get so worn that it damages the spindle. So if you start hearing noise while the mower's running and the blades are engaged, just take the belt loose, right? With the mower off, obviously, take the belt loose and spin it, and just take the blade and try to move it up and down. And if there's movement, just replace the bearings. It's very easy. Almost all mowers, the bearings come out. There's a top bearing and a bottom bearing. They almost all come out the same way. You just take a drift and a punch, and it's not hard at all. All right, there's plenty of videos on YouTube, and I don't know how much the dealer would charge, but it's a lot cheaper just to buy the bearings because you don't need to replace the whole spindle. All right, so the oil and filter on the engine, I do the oil and filter every 100 hours regardless, right? Every 100 hours gets a new oil and filter. So most of the time, I will either use the Kawasaki factory filter or the Wix filter, whichever one I can get. They're both excellent filters. The oil that I use has been, for most of this mower's life, I use the Amsoil 20W50. I have been experimenting with the Valvoline VR1 racing oil. That's what this has in it, right? No, this one has it. I went back to the Amsoil for this. But either that or the Valvoline VR1 racing oil, excellent oils. I've done a sample. I took a sample of both when it was ready to be changed, sent it off to the lab, and I got excellent results from both of them. I've done oil samples on every vehicle that I have, and it gives you a good snapshot of what is going on inside the engine, and will oftentimes show you that there's a problem starting to happen before you notice it in the performance of the engine, whether it's a car, motorcycle, boat, transmission, it doesn't matter. All right, so that's being done. Now the air filter, I clean this air filter about every 1 or 2 days, depending on how dusty it is outside. So right now we've been doing it about every 2 days because it's super dusty. It hasn't rained here in 7 weeks, other than it's rained twice in 7 weeks, and that thing will get completely full. Do not blow it out with shop air. And I have people ask me why. If you try to, and you always need to blow, this is what people try to do. They try to blow the dust and debris from the inside out, which is the way you would do it if you were going to do that. The better way to do that is you don't want to force the particles of dust deep into the filter media. You certainly don't want to blow it from the outside in. You just need to throw that filter away. You can't get everywhere in there. The better way to do it, I've got a video on it, is just to take the foam pre-filter off and tap it on the concrete both sides, and you will have a copious amounts of dust. And then take a vacuum and do it around there. But don't use shop air. Don't use compressed air. Don't blow anything. You need to use a vacuum. All right. The filters get changed on these mowers every 200 hours. Regardless, they're gone. And the reason that you want to do this is because, and that's probably why my valve adjustments have lasted so long, about 800 hours, is if you let dirt and sediment get into the engine, you're going to wipe out your valves and your piston rings. These engines cost about $1,900. All right, they're ridiculously expensive. You can make these things last 4,000 or 5,000 hours if you take really good care of them. You got to keep that filter clean. That is the most important thing, that and the oil. All right, so the hydros and the hydro filters basically are the transmissions of there's one on each side for each wheel. Every 200 hours, the oil and the filters get changed. I use the Hydro Gear filters, and I have been using the Amsoil 20W50 in the hydros. I'm running out of that, and I'm going to switch over to the Amsoil hydrostatic fluid. It's almost the same as the engine oil, but there's a couple additives in the engine oil that's not needed because this is not an internal combustion engine. There's some friction modifiers to prevent shear degradation of the oil that they put in hydrostatic fluid that is not in engine oil. So it's almost the exact same. Hydro Gear says either will work. And in fact, if you go on their manual online, they tell you to use the 2050 engine oil, but the hydrostatic fluid is just a little bit better. It's a little tougher oil. Either one will work, and I don't notice any difference in the performance because the other Trimstar I have is running the hydrostatic fluid, and they're fine. So supposedly you can get, according to a Hustler dealer that I talked to, he's seen these hydros with proper maintenance go 10,000 hours. Are you going to keep your mower 10,000 hours? It's a long time. Okay, so front casters. There's really nothing to grease on this mower except there's a few. I think it's on the other side for the lever. There's a grease fitting under here, but you do need to grease your front casters, and also on the wheels, the wheel bearings. There's a area that you need to grease. A place. It's got a Zerk fitting. On the factory Hustler, there'll just be a bolt here, and you'll have to get the Zerk fittings, take the bolt out, and I just leave the Zerk fitting in there. But it's very easy. But you need to do that because these bearings take a lot of shock load from the mower bouncing around, because it's basically there's no suspension on there, so you need to keep that greased. And I usually do that annually. So that is about it as far as what has failed on the mower. This has been an extremely reliable mower. These mowers are very, very, very tough. I don't get I don't have any. I mean, the mower, it basically runs as good now as it did when I bought it over 1,000 hours ago. Now right here, okay, because this is a walk behind, this right here is called a Go Slide, and this chain system, I did that in spring, okay? But this is basically a Velcro. You just step on it and you ride around it, slide on it. Why do I use this instead of a wheeled Velcro? Because this is glass smooth. This mower can be bouncing around like this from all the divots and undulations in the yard, and when you're on here, because the plate is so big, you don't feel it. Okay, if I was on a wheeled Velcro, I wouldn't have as much room here, number one, and the little wheel on the back, the wheels on Velcros they're not even this size generally. They're going to be hitting every single, and you're going to blow your knees out. So what I did was I just took some carabiners and some chain think I got this from Tractor Supply. And I just do this so that I can, you know, have it up when I'm not mowing. So it works really, really good. I can back up with this, no problem at all. Go backwards. I like the Go Slide better than the Pro Slide. Pro Slide is on the other mower that I have. I'm trying to think of what else to tell you guys. Oh, I did a video of the hand grips. I had to replace these hand grips once because they were starting to wear out, and they were spinning. They were spinning on this bar right here, and there's no adhesive or anything. It's just basically you just pop them on and then they'll just fuse to this. So I got over 1,000 hours out of the hand grips. That's pretty much it. Oh, magnets. Why do I put magnets on here? I have magnets on every single internal combustion, just to show you. On the Tundra, see, there's magnets on that. Magnets will pull out ferrous particles, mostly iron, that you see. Usually it's from piston ring wear and stuff like that, and bushing wear, and some engines that have iron parts. And it will just pull out the iron that's in that the filter media would not be able to capture. So it's something that's passive. It doesn't cost anything. I've got plenty of videos showing you how I cut open the filters. I have this right here. This is designed to cut open filters. It's super easy. You cut the filter open and take the media out, and you can see where the magnets were sitting, and you can take your finger and you can see the iron particles. And they're smaller than they would be able, they're smaller than the filter media, so they just go right through the filter, and that just decreases engine wear. How much does it decrease it? I don't know. I know there's people say, I've never used magnets in my life. That's okay. Throw some magnets on there. It doesn't hurt. It's not going to do anything to the filter except take additional contaminants out. Oh, fuel filter. I do that annually as well now. And that's pretty much it. You know, there's not a lot to do to this engine or the mower, thankfully. Yeah, it's a dirty mower. Dirty. But anyway, I am absolutely 100% thrilled with this Trimstar. And as I've said before, I'm not a Trimstar salesman. And I just think these are just phenomenal mowers. They have so many advantages if you're in hilly environments like we are, or if you would like to mow in conditions that are super soft, like it's rained all week, the ground is really mushy. This Trimstar will allow you to work when it would be impossible for you to put a mower that is like a sit down or stand up zero turn, because of the way the ground pressure is distributed on the mower. These are long mowers. That would be a disadvantage if you're running short on space. Now, I love me some stand-up mowers, and they're fast, and they have, if you can use them, I would like to have a stand-up on the truck, but right now I can't fit any more mowers on there. I have 2 Trimstars, and the way that we have these set up, they're perfect, and it makes us super efficient. So I can't think of really anything else that has failed on the mower. I went through my maintenance log, and I'm just going to tell you guys, if you have not considered these mowers, you may want to. They're just, I think they're the best mowers out there right now. So hopefully they don't change them. They've been making these, I think, probably 30 years. But the only thing I would change and will change if it ever goes out is the engine. I'll put the a 691 engine on here, because I like to have more power. And if the hydros ever go out, these have ZT 2800 hydros. I would put like the ZT 3100s. Those are the same case, but they're a little faster, and they're a little bit heavier duty in the same package. But anyway, that's pretty much it. I'm going to do a video after this. I'm going to do the video on testing the product that I have that was sent to me to see if it can clean this mower. Don't don't really want to clean the mower because it's just going to get dirty again, but I'll do the video and let you guys see the results. But hopefully this was entertaining, and if the main takeaway I think for this is to please learn about your mower and to take ownership of it as far as the maintenance, and make sure to just get you something organized, make you a spreadsheet, and then keep the mower maintained. And because this is your moneymaker, right? This thing doesn't break down if it keeps going. You know, I better get at least 5,000 hours out of this, especially the engine and the hydros. I'm sure the frame and all that will go a lot longer. Mowers don't rust out down here. So anyway, thank you very much for watching the video, and I will see you guys on the next one.